again. And I am feeling especially kick-ass today because I have something fun to share and to soup up your motivational Monday. If this is the first time you're hearing and watching me, this is Coach Mo Faul. I am a career coach, an uplifter of women, an empower of your soul. And I believe that everyone should be walking on this planet feeling totally and absolutely kick-ass. Today, we're going to cover generational differences. Are they causing you problems at work? I've been covering various topics on generations in the workplace and millennial stuff because I hear all the time from women on our clarity calls and people just in the workplace talking about the millennials. And what ends up happening is we have generational differences that show up all over the place. And you know what? It's not new. Generations after generations have been criticizing the next generation coming for millennia. There's writings from BC. There's writings from the 1800s. No sound. I'm not sure why you're not getting any sound. I got my microphone right here. Not sure how to help you there, Tammy. I don't know if there's anything on my end. Sometimes you have to come in and out. I don't know. I don't know if no one can hear me, I'll be the one coming in and out. So let's see. If anyone can hear me, please put on a comment. I have been talking, so that should be working. Let's make sure my microphone is on the right setting here. Okay, so yeah, our trusty technician is suggesting that, okay, so we got some crystal clear and we got some no sound. So let's hope that we're more on the crystal clear thing. All right, so generational differences have been talked about for centuries and millennia. It's always been a problem, always. So this is nothing new. Just because we're in the tech revolution, thank you, Kristen, Jean, Tammy, Tracy, thanks for the refresh the page note. Excellent. Awesome. So generation after generation, even now in the big tech world where we've got instant access to everything in our hand. I saw something really funny the other day. When I was a little kid, calculators were just coming out and they were $99, which back then was like $500, $600. And so we finally got one. And even though calculators were available, math teachers, physics teachers used to say, you still have to learn how to do math. You can't just rely on the calculator because you're not going to have a calculator everywhere you go. Oh, yeah? Now I have a mini computer everywhere I go. This is more computing power than some of the mainframe computers 20 years ago are in my pocket, in my hand every day. So I want to celebrate, first of all, I don't talk about my kick-ass workshop that often, I don't think. All of you ladies who are here who have been my clients, thank you and bravo to you for being totally and utterly kick-ass. One of our great, wonderful, beautiful ladies who graduated last month wrote a really cool thank you post. I'm going to read it, keeping her her identity private, but I'm going to read the post. Graduation day from this group is not the end. It is just the beginning of the abundant life ahead in my future. There are so many things I could list as outcomes of this class, but the post would be pages long. I have 2 kick-ass journals full. I'm grateful for the gifts and the calling of Mo Faul, Coach Amy, Coach Jean, Coach Miliana, and Coach Bonnie. They are all like a race car pit crew, and each one has a unique part in putting women back on the track again for her journey. I have experienced deep healing in this class from years of stress, trauma, and grief. I don't know exactly where my job search will lead me, but I am confident that the path will be clear as I continue to listen to my soul and give the universe time to work. I wish all in this group healing, grace, and love on your journey. See you in the grad group, Kick-Ass Sisters. So, Kathy, that was a beautiful post. And because of your inspiration of a kick-ass pit crew, I'm actually wearing, it's like the opposite I got to get out of my way. Kick-Ass Pit Crew on my shirt. You see that? Kick-Ass Pit Crew. And all of my team, some of them already have this shirt, but all my team are getting Kick-Ass Pit Crew shirts because we are exactly that. You all are top-notch race car drivers with race cars that need to be tuned up, new tires, gas filled in the tank, engine revving at the highest speed so you can lap that track and go at full speed and run the race of your life. This is what we do in the Kick-Ass journey. And sometimes there's engine work, and sometimes it's the tires, and sometimes it's filling up the gas tank. Sometimes it's the body repair that needs to happen. But whatever it is, we're going to tool you up so that your race and your amazing, amazing trip around the race course is fun, awesome, and just the ride of your life. And I'm proud to say we've had over 500 women in the workshop. And, you know, some of them started very traumatized from job or even personal stress. And some of them came in on the verge of wanting to quit and call it off and whatever. And we've literally saved women hundreds of thousands of dollars from making bad career moves. If we get you in time, if we get you in the workshop before you quit or make a move that's emotional and it feels like the only thing you can do, we can probably save you tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in a mistake that might just take your career the entire backwards direction. And we see that all the time. Often our clients in a workshop have quit or gotten laid off or sometimes even fired. We helped 6 ladies get awesome jobs last week. It was our best week ever with client successes. And all of those grads know that that's our new metric for this year has been how many clients we helped get new jobs and their total gain of compensation. Not just total compensation, but total gain. New money coming into their families, their futures, their bank accounts. That's what I am passionate about. Because the money you earn is a measure exactly of your contribution and your soul's power. It is an exact mirror of who you are here. Now, you have to have the education, expertise, and experience, but I'm going to tell you, just about every woman we've ever worked with is overeducated and underemployed for what they bring to the table. You know, there's days where I feel like the economy of the world is propped up by women's low self-esteem and low self-worth. So many women are not being paid their worth, are in jobs that are way under what they bring to the table. And here's what happens. You make suggestions and have ideas that are at another pay grade level. They don't like that. Who's they? The bosses, the hierarchy. They don't like that. They don't like someone down here suggesting something that should come from up here. So you're going to get into a clash. This brings me to the exact topic for today. Generational differences. First of all, I want you to check yourself and reflect for yourself. Are you the person who is either at work or at home or minding your business driving, and you see someone perhaps at a different age bracket than you, and you immediately make a judgment? Is that possible that the woman in the mirror is doing that? I'm just saying. I'm just looking to see if there's a, hey, Keisha, I'm just going to make your comment. Nice to see you. Is it possible that you're throwing judgments out there for people who are younger or maybe older than you? Is it possible that you're watching how they are and you're immediately comparing that to you? So number one, please stop the judgment, because generational differences are going to be there. You are going to notice some different things about certain people relative to you. It's going to be there. And you know what? Rather than resisting against it and wishing it was different and they're too young, they don't understand, and they do this and they this, when you hear yourself say they, you can just like forget whatever's going to come after that, because that immediately is putting you in a defensive victim mode. They does not exist. They is a grouping of people that you're ready to blame or criticize or judge, to put them in a category so that you don't feel threatened, so that you can protect yourself from them. And I know exactly the neurophysiology of why that happens. So I want to share that with you, because if you understand what's going on, it's possible that you can prevent yourself from having a primitive reaction that's going to cause your energy level to go down into the criticism, judging, negative land. You do not want to live in negative land. That zip code is really harsh. Negative land is where generational differences are heightened and accentuated. We don't want that. We do not want generational differences or differences of any type to be coloring and affecting who we are, how we operate, the thought, feeling, energy that we're putting out there. So here's the neurophysiology of why that happens. And it's the same thing that happens with race and gender, you name it, any difference. Oh, Keisha, that's a great comment. I'm going to throw you back up on my screen. Any difference we have with someone else can be a dividing, danger-invoking, fear-invoking response for our nervous system. Oh no, they're younger than me. I'm threatened. Ageism. They're going to fire me because I'm not as quick and as fast on technology as they are. Oh no, they are a threat. I'm not going to share my information. I'm not going to talk at meetings anymore. I'm going to protect myself. This is the thing that begins to happen. So don't be that person. Anywhere, I implore you, your soul wants to shine and expand and be lovely to people. That's what it wants. But unfortunately, your brain, that primitive brain that has been told to protect itself from danger, that primitive brain that wants to survive all sorts of calamity and things that come, it wants to protect and shy away from things that are dangerous and different. That's primitive physiology. And if you let that run the show, you'll be operating in fear at a very low vibrational level. So check yourself this week. Give yourself some focus on our generational differences, or for that matter, any differences, gender, race, generation. Perhaps there's departments in your office or in your company that you have some of this on. You know, those salespeople, all they want to do is get the sale, blah, blah, blah. You know, those operational people, all they want to do is make sure everything's going to be done perfectly well. So we make judgments on them, on they, and that starts to cause a rift in our wholeness because we're beginning to separate ourselves. So I want you to think about something really important on this generational problem. I want you to think about the fact that either you once were that age, or if you're judging people who are older than you, you are going to be that age, if you're lucky. Okay, if you're lucky. So take with your soul empathy and compassion and connection that they are just like you. Just like you. Just like you. And you know what? At some point, hopefully, you are an eager, youthful, exuberant person ready to conquer the world. And you had ideas and zest and excitement about where you were going. I hope you find that again. I hope that you find that excitement and that zeal for life that younger people have. I hope you find it. I hope you get back to that version of you. And you know what I got to tell you? That post I read you from that grateful graduate of our workshop, she found that again. As a matter of fact, she was able to connect even better with her teenage daughter because she found that again. Rather than her being miserable and job traumatized and not happy with her life, therefore projecting that on her daughter, instead of that, she became a whole, full person within herself and found her joy and her truth and her awesomeness. And guess what? Here's the secret of life, that if you knew this, if you lived this way, there would never be another they. Here's the secret. When you are whole and happy for yourself and within yourself, all of they look better. Everyone on the outside now glows as well. Because when you're feeling awesome, the rest of the world is a reflection of you. And when you're feeling crappy and scared and traumatized and your nervous system is all, and you're not sleeping and you have to drink more coffee every single week, year, and you're gaining weight, when you feel that level of you, no one is good enough to make you happy. No one is whatever enough for you, because you're not enough for you. And you're projecting that out there on the generational differences. Maybe you're projecting it out there on the gender differences. Maybe you're projecting it out there on the racial differences. If you can't find in yourself your beautiful, soulful self, if you can't be happy with you, you will never be happy with them. And they will always be an irritation for you. Always. So your key is to be kick-ass and get that soul revving up and get that awesomeness bright and shiny. Yes, you may have to wear dark glasses at first because you're so freaking shiny and awesome that you're not used to seeing that. It might be like, oh my, look how awesome I am. A lot of times the early coaching in our kick-ass workshop is to help our ladies adjust to that. And usually there's tears of happiness and grief that it's taken so long, it's been so long since they've found that. And when they do, it's the most beautiful thing ever. So all of you beautiful, lovely women who are here, who we have had the privilege of coaching and the privilege of knowing and the privilege of working with and watching you blossom. Thank you, Jean, for your comment. Coach Jean, rocking it, sister. When you love your own soulful self deeply, you will walk this face of the earth loving others. When you're off balance, off purpose, when you've been thrown traumatic events that you haven't adjusted to and you haven't healed from yet, you're going to be defensive and guarded. And you're not going to be very fun to be around, and you're not going to be very good to get along at work. And you're going to say, we've always tried that. You're going to say, we've already tried that. You're going to say, we've done that. You're going to say to the young people, who do you think you are? You've just started in your career. You don't know how this goes. I've been here for 20 years. Don't be that version of the protected, buried soul of a shell for you. Please, if it's not working with us, please find some way to open your soul up to the beauty that you have inside. All of us are born as beautiful souls. And unfortunately, with the people we are raised, who raise us, with the schools we go to, the organizational structure of our families, work, church, whatever, we get lost along the way. And that soul has to protect itself because we get hurt. Someone tells us not to sing so loud. Someone tells us that we're not as pretty as our sister, or we're not as good in math, or we're not whatever. And over time, we shrink and we hide because that didn't feel good. And then maybe we have a crush or a love interest who leaves us and hurts us, and we hide more. And perhaps we didn't get that promotion. We hide more. So soon enough, we're contracted into a small, small shell of who we are. And we blame anyone we can find that has made our path somewhat difficult. And if it's the millennials, if that's the blame, Debbie Grant, thanks for your comment. If that's the blame that we've got, that's who we're going to blame. If the blame is white Americans, that's who we're going to blame. If the blame is Black Americans, that's who we're going to blame. If the blame is Indians and Asians, and I mean, we can always find a finger to point to for something. But when you're whole and happy, you don't want to, and you don't see the world that way. You begin to shut out the things that would distract your happiness. You begin to shut out the things that would keep you in your awesomeness. You begin to handle things easier. You begin to solve problems, not focus on them. You begin to move forward into your glory and brilliance and awesomeness. And you know what? When you do that, the rest of the world is awesome. And then voila, your resume is awesome. Your LinkedIn profile is awesome. You feel awesome. You interview like a rock star, and they hire you for 30,000 more, 40,000 more, 50,000 more. That second job taking you 80,000 more. That's what happens. When you are awesome from the inside, there is no generational problem. There is no gender problem. There is no race problem. All of those get better and they begin to melt away. We have had so many, good for you, Debbie, eating good food. We have had so many women heal generations and generations of hurt and grief and sorrow. When they become whole in their souls in the first week or two in our workshop, all of a sudden, relationships with kids get better. Relationships with in-laws who have been bristling for a while, and even our own parents, those relationships get healed. That's the kind of woman who can be kick-ass at work. That's the kind of woman who can totally rise above and lead a team. That's the kind of woman who can make $50,000 more in her job and have a massively exciting, beautiful career. The women who heal their souls and show up expecting everyone else to be awesome, regardless of our differences. As a matter of fact, because of them, because of our differences. That's it. That's how we heal generational differences. That's how we overcome any problem.